Morning, morning. It looks like we have got a full class this morning and we are ready to start. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our last session. I was looking at the time that we have spent together. It's now the 7th week, but it has been a very short 2 months. I have enjoyed working with you. And for the past 2 weeks, I am excited to report that you have produced a quality work. Okay? Pat yourself at the back for that. You have worked very, very hard. Okay? Then let's continue today. We are dealing with an introduction to communication and collaboration, which is the last core skill that we will be dealing with. An introduction to communication and collaboration. From the start of these sessions, we have been communicating through MST, communicating through WhatsApp, communicating through written communication, and we have seen the importance of communication, and we communicated to an extent to say that all of us have grown. The participants have grown, the facilitators have grown. We understand our program better now. There has been collaboration. No one has been successful alone here. We have been working as teams. You know, each and every one of us has been making an input here, and that input has been very valuable. Okay, and if you look back and we take you to our first session on core skills, we said this is a puzzle, and the pieces of the puzzle must fit in together so that at the end of the day, our learners are able to complete and participate in the 21st century, and they are able to be global citizens. And in the past 3 weeks, we have done creativity and imagination, and we have also done critical thinking and problem solving, and we have seen the importance of that. If you are a learned person, you need to be able to think critically, and you need to be able to solve problems. We have also looked at digital literacy, and when we're looking at those, we also looked at the abilities and the competencies that are required for each of those. And then last week, we did collaboration and communication. I will start where we are now so that you can see that the puzzle, communication and collaboration. Last week, you were critically thinking about the topics at hand. What do we mean by think, pair, and share? How would you implement that in your classroom? That was critical thinking and problem solving. And for you to be able to collaborate and communicate, I said you must go and research. And when you were researching, you use digital literacy. Remember, digital literacy is not only about computers, it's about accessing information, it's about analyzing the information, which you did perfectly well. I remember in some groups, you have also posted YouTube articles, and after that, you look at them, you analyze them, you have accessed them, and you were creative and imagining how you would do things in the classroom. And as you were doing that, I have noticed that personal development that has been taking place in the group. I'll see you when you were looking at the instruction, and sometimes when you have erred, you will go back and say, this is how we're supposed to be doing things. And we have seen citizenship taking place because at some point I have seen you using your language, meaning that taking pride on your identity, so that when you go out there in the global world, you know who you are and you know what is expected of you in the global world. So in the past 3 weeks, we have looked at core skills and how we will implement in our classroom. Basically, Tuli, and the class. With that background, I can stop the class because that was our mandate. Can we stop?
No,
Hello?
we are curious. We want to continue.
Because this was the main thing was to take the core skills, look at them, and see how we can implement in our classroom so that we change we change and impact on our learners. And then what is communication and what is collaboration? Mine is just to consolidate what I have seen taking place in the groups. It says communication is effectively orally, like you were talking orally, like we are talking orally now. It was in writing. I have seen those input in the classroom. It was actively listening to others. I have noticed that there will be time when one of you will say, let's do this thing. And you understood that communication is a two-way process. One talks and the other one listens. And that's a very, very critical skill for communication. Without that listening skill, then you cannot communicate. To listen to others in diverse, you were diverse. Today, last week, what I did was basically to ensure that you work with people from other countries, you work with people from South Africa and Lesotho, and you work with people from other schools. Diverse, multilingual environment. I have seen that when you're speaking your language, understand the verbal and the non-verbal communication. You understood exactly what you were saying. Whilst I was here reading your WhatsApp, I could also pick the non-verbal communication. Sometimes I would visualize Reka, I would visualize Galet. I don't know you, but I would visualize Segray, I would visualize Mwezi, that out of what you were writing, I started visualizing you guys, and sometimes I would laugh. I hope my your non-verbal communication was, I've not misread it when I was reading your comments, because time and again, when you are speaking non-verbally, you want to put a face in that voice. You were able to work in diverse international teams, and remember, one of the reasons we are preparing you for this, it is because you have partnerships in Wales, you have partnership in the UK, and you have got partnership in South Africa, and ultimately we are preparing learners for the 21st century. And if you remember our first video where we said these learners are going to move from one employment to another, and they must be able to fit right through. You were learning from and contributing to the learning of others. This is exactly what was happening during the week. You were learning from each other. You will see the inputs of others, and also you were also contributing. You were not passive learners in your group. That is why the other day, I was able to report that these are the groups that are working. I'm happy that everybody is working, because I could see everyone learning from others. I could see also that you were contributing to those quality debates. I have seen some shared responsibility. Like, I still remember in one group, after I have written that so and so and so and so have not worked, and then there were comments in the group, guys, those who have not worked, please come in. Guys, those who have not contributed are going to report. So there's shared responsibility. And that's the essence of life. You communicate, you share responsibility, you cooperate, you cooperate, you lead, you are leading. I have said in the previous week, I could pick up leaders in your group. There was delegation. For instance, I have delegated this week's training to you. There's very little that I am going to do this week because we have done the work. And whilst I have delegated the work, I was also observing from a distance, because delegating is not shifting responsibility. That is why I keep on reading what you have written in your group. And what I have seen is you have produced new and innovative ideas and solutions that you are going to implement in the classroom. So when in your classrooms must be as busy as what you were actually doing. There must be communication. There must be time when your learners stand up and speak. They must write. You must check if they are able to listen. You must check if they can fit in multilingual environments. Hence, it is very, very important that you expose them to the different language. They must be able to work with different teams. That was the reason last week you have group 1 up to group 12, and this week I changed you into different groups because I wanted you to interact with as many people as possible, so that you are able to work in diverse international team. And that was also to enable to boost your confidence. So that's what communication and collaboration is, exactly what you have been doing for the past 7 weeks, and last week and this week you were consolidating that information. So that's what communication and collaboration. Remember, we are doing communication and collaboration as part of that puzzle, so that we develop the citizens. Our learners must be global citizens. We are ensuring personal development. Communication and collaboration is one of the critical outcomes in education. If you can't communicate and if you can't collaborate, it means you are not a learned person. That's a critical outcome of education. And communication and collaboration requires you to apply digital literacy, meaning that you have to access information, you have to analyze information. Communication and collaboration is about critical thinking and problem solving. I could imagine when you were looking for the information, there's a lot of information on these collaborative learning techniques, but you had to look in your classroom and ask yourself, what is the problem that we want to solve in our classroom? You have to be creative and imaginative. Hence, we came to this discussion. Okay, and for a moment now, I would like you to give you about 3 minutes basically, and ask you the last question. You just respond to the last question. What do you think is the main difference between group work and collaborative learning? Collaborative learning is what you were doing. Can you spend 3 minutes on that? What is group work and what is collaborative learning? 2 minutes. Tuli, can you time that? I would wait for comments in the group.
Yes, Sis Vuyo?
Hello, my dear. Anyone? Okay, there's a comment from Galand. Group work, where we work is when we work together in a group voluntarily. Thanks, Galand. Any other person?
I don't have any comment on the Teams chat, Sis Vuyo.
Okay. And then there's okay.
Can
Roshwana.
I, Sis Vuyo?
Yes, my dear.
Can I please ask the participants to come into class? I see there's a lot of activity happening in the small groups. Think Pair Share group and cooperative pairs. People are still having conversations there. Please come back into the main classroom. Thank you.
Okay, group work is a group of people working together to achieve a common goal. And then collaborative work is where we work together towards a goal. And then collaborative learning promotes accountability. And then group work is the work that has been done together by 2 or more people, while collaborative work is the work that is done jointly. You can see now in the classroom what I want to, this question, the main aim of that question, there's Amina there, group work, helping and sharing to the minimal. Collaborative learning is helping and sharing is expected to the maximum. In cooperative learning, all learners are expected to help and share information among the group. In group work, helping and sharing is at minimal, meaning that we're not going to read all of them. Please keep on writing so that other educators can read. What we are moving away from is to ensure that in our classroom there's collaborative learning, that is learners sharing, working together, growing together, because group work, as people have said, there's minimal work, and we need to move away then from group work to collaborative learning so that everyone is basically active. For argument's sake, if I can give you just a small example, when I visit a class and I see learners sitting in groups, I ask the teacher why they are sitting like this. He or she will say they are doing group work. And I ask them, can you show me the group work? The way you arrange your groups in your classrooms must basically be linked to the activity. So if your group is linked to an activity, then it moves on to collaborative learning. Okay, so in your classroom, you cannot have a group of learners working together for the whole year. You keep on changing the groups so that you have collaborative learning in your classrooms. Okay, and we are not going to respond to the other questions because they are basically part of what you are going to be reporting on. We have seen the different groups that you are working on in the week: your think, pair, and share, your jigsaw, your numbered heads together, your tea party, your round robin, your right around, your carousel. I think you know them better than I do now. So what I will do now is basically to encourage, to ask the presenters from the groups to report. Tuli, can you coordinate that section now, where the groups are reporting?
Thank you, Sis Vuyo. Again, I want to add my congratulations to the work that we have seen happening. Really, really encouraging. It gives us energy to show up every morning on Saturday morning. As Sis Vuyo has said, it has been a 7-week journey. of excellence, if I may say so, for those who have been committed and those who have remained committed. I did send you the running schedule for today on our group, and I see with appreciation that the group members did respond to my request of sending me who are going to be those people who are going to lead in the presentations. Just for clarity again, how we're going to do this, the group is given 4 minutes to present the presentation, and 1 minute is going to be left to feedback. And this is going to be coming from Sis Vuyo, and maybe whatever it is that she would like to add to what the group has prepared. So I have split the groups. We have group 1, group 2, group 3. Group 1 is the group numbered heads, round table, and cooperated pairs. Group 2, carousel, think, pair, share, jigsaw. Group 3 is right around, tea party, and 3-step interview. So what I will do, group 1, please, numbered heads, you will present first. Round table, you present second. Cooperative pairs, you will present third. So I will try not to interrupt as the group. So I will let the 3 groups do their presentation one after each other, and then I will only come in again when it's group 2. Again, you will be interacting with Mrs. Vuyo. Please give her about a minute to be able to engage with you on your presentation. So numbered heads, are you ready? Numbered heads, we have Marafariel. I hope
Yes.
I'm pronouncing it properly. Welcome, May. Please unmute and let us see you, your video.
Okay, May, I have unmuted.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, May. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use my digital literacy now to keep time. I'm using my phone. So hi, Siri, please set the timer for 5 minutes. Hey, Siri, please set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Okay. Numbered heads together is a cooperative learning strategy where learners are placed in a group of a certain number, and each learner is given a number. For example, if it is a group of 5 learners, they will be named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A teacher will pose a question, and learners will put their heads together to find the answers. Then the teacher will call a specific number to give a correct answer. That is the explanation of numbered head together. And the benefits of the strategy are: it is a learner-centered strategy. It encourages learners to take responsibility for their own learning. It promotes positive interdependence, that is, they learn from one another. The learners learn from one another. It promotes teamwork. All learners will be actively involved in a task given. Teaching and learning will be interesting and effective. Learners will have clear and deep understanding of a lesson. It also promotes self-esteem and confidence of learners. It promotes collaboration and communication skills. Lastly, it promotes problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity and imaginary skills. That are the benefits of the strategy. The strategy can be implemented during the arts and entrepreneurial lessons in the class, whereby learners will be opening the small class business. They will have to think deeply about their start and profit and losses that they will get in the business. They will also have to think about the ways of overcoming the challenges they will encounter. That is all about our presentation.
Wow, that's a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the strategies. You take your class because you want everyone to be involved. You give them the numbers. I am not going to add any more. I have just posted their presentation into the main group. Let's give them a big clap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, numbered heads. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Tuli.
Oh, thank you, numbered heads. And you had 1 minute to spare. Thank you. Siri, please set the timer for 5 minutes. Hey Siri, please set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, counting down.
Round table, your 5 minutes has started.
Okay, morning, everybody. Am I heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can
Good
you
morning,
hear?
you may continue.
Okay, I'm presenting here for round table. We actually research on round table and round robin, and we realized that they are more or less the same. So because they are both brainstorming strategies whereby the participants sit around the table, as the name implies. They sit in a circular fashion, and the participants may be 5 or 6, so they gather together there in an academic discussion. So the discussion actually may be silent or may be verbal, or it may be silent or verbal. That means the participants in the discussion may be given papers or answer sheets to write their ideas or to write the answers to the questions which has been posed to them. So it may be verbal, that they may, both verbal and silent, that they may say out their answers verbally and then write them on the paper. So this strategy goes together again with timing. They are timed. They work within time limits. I think I have explained the strategy. So the strategy, I'm going to explain how I can use this strategy in my class. I can use this strategy maybe when we are about to do a debating session, because I can divide the big group into 2 groups, because in debating session we have those who are for and those who are against the motion. So I divide the big group into 2 groups, those who will be for and those who will be against. So I'll further divide the 2 groups into smaller groups, whereby now they are going to discuss the topic. So thereafter I will tell them that we are going to have a sounding signal after every idea which has been written. So then I see them in around the table or on the desk, whereby they will be facing each other. So I'll give them the answer sheet, and they will write their ideas. Then when one has written their idea, they will pass it on to somebody else next to them. And the papers will keep on rotating amongst themselves until they come back to their owners. When they have done that, the discussion will start among those small groups. After they have discussed, now the two groups which have been split will come together so that they find the ideas or the points which have not been common in all the groups. So they will discuss them together so that it will be possible or be easy for the presenters to understand actually what they were meaning with those points. So after that, we'll come together and then we will be ready to present after choosing the presenters. We can even choose 3 or 4 presenters from each group and be ready for our debating session. So the benefits of this strategy is that the learners will develop the skill of critical thinking. Here, this skill will even be sharpened by the time they will take in writing their ideas, because they'll be thinking under pressure, and they will think under pressure and come up with their ideas, of which as they practice this skill, they will have developed thinking quickly and at the same time giving quality ideas. One other thing is that they think there will be independence. They will develop independence because they'll be working in isolation. Nobody will be dominating another. Nobody will be encouraging another. That means what they have, they'll have to take it out of themselves and then participate, or it will be their input which will come within them. One other thing is that
your time is up. I'll give you one time for just one other idea. Your time is up.
Okay, another benefit is confidence. They will develop confidence. We know that we have got different personalities in our class. So others are those non-talkers, and those non-talkers, when they are given opportunity maybe to write their ideas, it is then that they will be able to voice out in their small groups what they have.
Okay, thank you, Me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Roundtable.
Thank you, round table, and thank you. It means you have done your homework. The fact that you were able to basically say that the round table and the round robin are basically the same thing, and basically what is important here, you allocate your learners into groups, and each and every learner basically participates. This I like the fact that you have also mentioned that this activity can either be done silently, where the learners just pass the paper and they write, or it can be verbally when they discuss. And as we have said, when you are doing the strategy, you try by all means to exhaust all the points. Well done, round table. Right. Well done, well done. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
So this is cooperative pairs now. Siri, please set the timer for 5 minutes.
Cooperative pairs.
Hi, Siri, please set timer for 5 minutes. Hey, Siri is on strike. Hey, Siri, please set timer for 5 minutes.
Okay. Morning, everyone.
Yes, please start.
Okay, we firstly started to explain what are the cooperative pairs. We said it's when learners are in pairs, student takes turns, one student solving problems while talking through their thinking aloud, and while others listening. There would be some coaches where necessary and provides positive feedback. It is when a learner given a topic, idea, or an issue, or just a problem, then they discuss this topic with a partner or a group. They individually share their opinions on the topic. Once they have concluded, then they get allocated time to speak about the topic together. They get an opportunity to become listener and speakers as well. So the benefits are as follows. It can be used to encourage interaction and feedback when doing exercises in class. Learners learn how to work together when solving the exercise, but also how to interact, give and receive feedback from the classmates. Every learner in the class is active at the same time, either in solving the problem or assisting learners with solving the problem. It helps students to share ideas with classmates. It builds oral communication skills. It can also enhance critical thinking skill. It improves responsibility in each group because everyone is given a task. It also helps learners to learn from each other because they apply their background knowledge of the world they have. So the implementation of this strategy, example 1, I would pay learners, pose a question, how to encourage the members in your group to participate in a recycling campaign. Another one is to allow learners to discuss their ideas in their pairs, write down the ideas and present them to the class. Lastly, I would ask learners to reflect on their performance and what they think they could have done better. Example 2, how I would implement the cooperative learners in my class. Learners will work in small groups. They would be given a task with a clear instruction. For example, in your English textbook, on page 45, paragraph 2, hand for the words with the letter sounds a, t. I will also ask them to choose a group leader, secretary, researcher, and the reporter. The last example, homeless people. How can we solve it? And they go into a pairs and discuss different solutions. Each one then gets the opportunity to present their solution on the problem. This will allow each learner to get the opportunity to speak and express their opinions. They also learn to speak to others with plays, and which plays an important part of learning. So the last one is debate. So that's all what we have discussed.
With 1 minute to spare. Thank you, cooperative pairs.
Thank you, Tuli. Thank you, cooperative pairs. You can see that the presentation is there. I've already transferred it to the main group so that if you are not part of that group, what is important here, you pair your learners, whether in twos or in fours, depending on what you are doing. And one other thing that they have highlighted here, you can use cooperative pairs in the different learning areas, in the different subjects, whether it's English, whether it's a project, whether it's a recycling project, you can do a cooperative pairs. And the most important thing is all your learners are engaged. There's learning taking place. You know, Tuli, I am so excited today. In fact, I've got nothing to say, you know, because they have done the work, they have researched, you know, they have, yeah.
I'm loving the deep learning that is happening.
Yes, there's deep learning that is happening. In fact, it goes back to giving them open-ended questions. They have accessed the information, they have analyzed it thoroughly. You know, as I was reading this yesterday evening, I was saying how I wish I can go and visit them in their schools as from the next quarter to see how they arrange their classroom in terms of the topics that we've dealt with.
Fantastic. We said it's about changing the way that we work in the classroom, isn't it? Thank you, Sisvuyo. So now we are back to focusing on group 2. Remember, group 2 is carousel, think, pair, share, and jigsaw. Again, it's going to be one group after the other, and then Sis Vuyo will get a chance to input. Siri, set timer for 5 minutes. Siri is not playing ball, but your 5 minutes starts now. I've set a timer. This is Carousel. Your 5 minutes starts now. Carousel, this is Mahali or Maholi.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, ma'am.
Carousel is a cooperative learning strategy that involves movement, discussion, and reflection. It engages learners to work in a small groups and move from station to station, discussing each task as they go. The aim of this strategy, it can be used in the classroom to reinforce knowledge and skills after learning. It can also be used at the very beginning of a unit or lesson to activate prior knowledge. For example, if I'm teaching a lesson on sound, I might want to see what students already know about the sound. How does the strategy work in the class? The teacher creates numbered stations around the classroom, maybe about 5 to 7 stations. Each station consists of a piece of chart paper with a question written on the top. For example, if I'm doing this as an activation strategy before a sound lesson, the question might be, what are some different sounds that you hear every day? Or what do you know about how sound is made? So the idea of doing this is to get students thinking about the subject matter they are about to learn. Students are divided into small groups. The number of students in each group may depend on the number of stations that are created, maybe 3 to 4 students per group. Each group is given a different colored marker for writing answer on the chart paper. Each group begins at a different station. The teacher sets a timer and students stay at each station for that set period of time. During the time that students are at each station, they read the question, skim over any previous answers by other groups, and then add other own ideas to the paper. When the time goes off, they move to the next station. When the groups have visited each station, there is a short discussion to brief in the classroom. I'm done with it.
Unmute yourself, Tuli.
Sorry, with 2 minutes to spare. Thank you, Carousel.
Thank you. Thank you, Carousel. That was a very good discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, Carousel is basically, this is as explained in simplest form. It's like a gallery walk. Remember, in workshops, you usually, after the workshop, you take a gallery walk. But now, instead of finding answers there, the learners sit at a point in small groups, and then they discuss that question and they move around the room and complete everything. And I like the fact that this group has mentioned that you have to manage the time and you had to ensure that the learners move to all the different stations, understanding and unpacking the different questions. Okay, thank you very much, Carasol.
Think, pair, share. Your time starts now.
Think, pair, share.
Matsotesi. Think, pair, share. Think, pair, share, your time is running. Anybody from the Think, pair, share group? Do we still have Lesotho in the room? Basotho? Anybody here?
Yes, we are here.
Yes.
Oh,
We are hearing.
anybody who knows maybe your group partner has lost connection? It was supposed to be Matsotetsi. Anybody from the group who can help? Okay, think, Peshe, I'm going to skip you because we are already 1 minute into your time. I'll come back to you.
Roshwana? No. Roshwana,
Yes.
are you there?
Can I go to Jigsaw? Jigsaw?
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Ndate. Your time starts now. It's
I'm going
Adoro
to
Ben.
I'm going to present about Jigsaw. So
Yes.
the Jigsaw is a cooperative learning strategy in which a small group of learners or students work together on a common task. The task can be as simple as solving a math problem. It is sometimes called instructional strategy because it enables learners to discuss the task or the content and then share that knowledge. How to implement the Jigsaw on our classroom? I will have to divide learners into groups of 5 or 6 depending on the number of segments I would like to break the topic into. Select one learner from each group to be a group leader. Each learner will get the chance to be a leader to build their self-confidence. I shall break the topic into small segments or subtopics. For instance, if I'm going to teach about the resources, maybe one learner will give the definition of a resource and give examples. That is, another one will work on the types of resources such as natural resources, and the other one about the man-made or human resources. This can also be done as a homework. Also, I can ask each learner to prepare individually before the class as to build their self-confidence. After each group's presentation, the class will be allowed to ask questions regarding the presented topic. So the benefits of using jigsaw puzzles in the classroom, it improves concentration. The other one, learners develop perception of themselves. Learning of geometric forms allow learners to distinguish between various shapes. It also develops fine motor skills. By building a puzzle, learners' hands and eyes need to work together. Learners will also use problem-solving skill to complete a puzzle. By talking about the completed image, learners improve their vocabulary and their speech. By assembling the same puzzle over and over, helps the learners improve their vocabulary and their speech. When learners completed or have completed a puzzle, they become confident, which boosts their self-worthiness. By working together to complete a puzzle, they develop social skills. Moreover, Jigsaw enhances cooperation in class as learners share responsibilities. It also improves listening and communication skills since learners get information from other home groups and report it to their group members. This is all I can say about the Jigsaw.
Okay.
Thank you, Jigsaw. Yeah.
Thank you, Jigsaw. Well done, Jigsaw. And we can see the benefits there. And the benefits are basically what we want from our learners who are going to be global citizens and who are supposed to achieve the 21st century skills, who are supposed to leave schools with the core skills. They can do that when they participate in Jigsaw. Another addition that I just want to make is when you have a jigsaw, you can use a jigsaw together with numbered heads, where basically you give your learners the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the ones become experts in a particular topic, the twos experts in a particular topic, and the threes become experts in a particular topic, and so on and so on. And then when they go back to their main group, which is the jigsaw, they are coming with different expertise which they share, so that in each and every group we have got the different expertise. So jigsaw and numbered head can basically be combined together. Actually, you can see here that whilst these groups are separate, but there's discussion, there's group work, there's management, like for instance, Tuli, if I can go back, I expected the previous group that it's not going to be prompt when it's reporting, because not all of them were active in the group. That's why I called a name, because that was the most active learner in the group. So that group will still have to work with it so that it builds its confidence. Okay, thanks a lot, Tuli. Let's move on to the next one.
Thank you. Sivuya, do I go back to Think Pair Share, or maybe we come back to that later?
We can, if they are ready, we can go back to them.
I didn't get a response from the group. Think Pair Share.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I'm Roshana.
Roshana, your time starts now.
A sore throat this morning.
Okay.
Okay. So Think Pair Share, it's a cooperative discussion activity. It is a great way to put your heads together with a partner to provide the best possible answer to a question. Right, the first point is to think. Your teacher is going to ask you to think about the question or topic. It may be about an experience you had or an opinion on a topic. Think carefully about the question or the topic that your teacher asked. Continue thinking quietly until your teacher calls time. So it's all about time. Teacher gives you about 1 minute. The next point is to pair. You turn to your elbow partner. During this time, your teacher will ask you to turn to your friend closest to you, which will be the person closest, and you will share your thoughts and ideas. You will ask your partner, each one to come up, and then they share their thoughts. So each one gets a chance to talk about the idea they came up with and thought about. They decide who of the partner will go first, and allow your partner to talk about their thought and give the partner a chance to complete. Allow your partner the opportunity to give his or her perspective. This will continue until each one till the teacher calls time. The next point is the sharing time. During this phase, your teacher will ask you to share your thoughts and your opinions and ideas that you and your partner come up with. And that's about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Roshana, and thank you so much, Roshana, for standing for the group. Yes,
Pleasure.
Yes, remember, Think Pair Share. What is important here is the space for individual thinking. Yes. So when you go in a Think Pair Share, you don't go to listen there. You go with your own idea. See, this is what I am bringing in the table. This is what I am bringing in the group, and then you discuss it with somebody else, and then you take it to plenary. Maybe it's similar to what we are doing now. Before you went to that group and made your contribution, Roshana, you started to do the activity on your own, and then you went to the group, D joined you, Rika joined you, and you had an understanding. And then from there, when you had an understanding, you said, who is going to present us in the main group? So what you have done just now, you thought on your own, you discussed it in the group, and then now we are in plenary discussing exactly. So this is an example of a think, pair, and share strategy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sis Vuyo. Thank you, Carousel, Think Peshe, and Jigsaw. Please give yourself a pat on the back. Now we're moving on to group 3. Remember, group 3 is the right around, the tea party, and the 3-step interviews. We start with right around. Maketsi, are you ready? Maketsi, are you ready? Right around?
She said she had a problem with
Network. Okay.
Anyone in the group?
Maybe while the group is still organizing itself, can I move on to the tea party? Tea party, anybody ready?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sir Grace. Your time starts now.
I'm going to present about tea party. The name tea party is given because learners pretend as if they are at a tea party where they mingle around each other, they talk and they listen. The tea party is a pre-reading strategy. It helps learners to practice speaking, listening, predicting, and also writing. As teachers, we need to preview the text that our learners are going to read. The teacher must then write down the codes or sentences that were selected on an index card and distribute 1 card per student. When the tea party strategy starts, it is important to set the time frame. Allow the learners to mingle with each other, share their cards with other learners, and discuss what they think the text is about. Listen to what other learners have to say. Have a discussion on how these cards are related. Guess what all these cards could mean. Just like in a party, people have discussion on a topic and everyone chips in by giving an opinion. The teacher needs to guide the learners throughout the discussion. After the class discussion, group the learners into pairs or small groups. Learners must write down their prediction. Each group will take turns to share their ideas with the class. Then the benefits of the tea party strategy are as follows. It promotes teamwork and grants learners the opportunity to jointly solve problems where they may arise. It also promotes cooperating and collaboration through active participation of most learners. Learning occurs in social setting, therefore knowledge becomes easily constructed. It equips learners with listening and communication skills. It is a learner-centered approach and encourages participation of all learners. That's all from my group. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tea Party. Vuyo?
Tea party. As I was reading their comments, it was like I am also in a tea party. There was a lot of movement in the room, you know. Others saying, I am so busy, I can't join, I want to be there. Others saying after a discussion, it's marvelous. You know, there was a lot of mingling, there was a lot of discussion. At one point, they couldn't see Segray. They were saying, Segray, where are you? You know, come with a discussion. You could, as they were writing, you visualize the activity. You visualize the buzz that has been taking place in that room. They were busy buzz. So there was buzz taking place, everyone chatting. You know, I enjoyed looking at them and visualize their classroom. You know, as you are all reporting, I am just thinking on that if classes can be busy like this, I'm sure learners will have more energy to participate in their activities instead of sitting down from 8 up until 2 o'clock. So the more you come with these strategies, the more learners are motivated, the more they work and they get used to the culture of working. Thank you very much, Tipati. It was a party indeed.
Thank you, Ms. Vuyo. The right around group, the presenter is having connection challenges, so I'm going to give time to the group to organize itself, and I'm going to move to 3-step interview and then go back to run around. Gallant, are you there?
I am.
Thank you so much. Your time starts now.
Hi, good morning, Sis Tuli and Sis Vuyo and the fellow students in the room.
Good morning.
I'm going to present about 3-step interviews. This is a group activity of 3 learners, which they can act where they act as a group. This is now the interviewer, the interviewee, and the reporter. And I'm going to add another person there, which is the observer. And in this case, in the classroom, it is the teacher. This 3-step interview is about the rotation that takes place, and this is where I see movement is taking place, where they move from one role to another role. And this is a process that starts again until all the learners had a chance to fill the different roles. It is an active activity and a structured, a cooperated structured activity where information is exchanged and new ideas with the classroom. And 3-step interviews has 3 phases, which is the introduction phase, the getting to know you phase, where they actually what you can bring to the table, what can you offer it, and then it's the closure stage. In the introduction stage, you introduce the different learners in the group. You need to find they need to find themselves a seat, and they have to be comfortable, and they have to show that they are interested in what is going to happen. And then in the middle phase, which is getting to know you stage, is where the questions is also, this is where the actual work is actually taking place. They look for the details, keep them in touch with the group, 3-step interviews. And the closure phase is where they appreciate interacting with each other, and they speak about and they thank each other for being part of the group. Then we have management. This is how we manage the group. We explain to the learners how it's going to be, how it's going to work. And this is where they have to prepare themselves prior to the activity with regards to questions being asked. And yeah. So what you expect of them? Their individual responsibilities. Let them know that there are times so that they know how to pace themselves. Display time somewhere in the room so that they can look at the time and encourage each other. Maybe that, listen, guys, we have 2 minutes left. We need to finish, and let them know their individual roles. The benefits of this 3-step interviews. They learn to have eye contact with the different learners in the group. They apply active learning throughout the session and active learning listening skills. They learn to paraphrase questions in order to understand it better and to apply the most best option to answer the question. They learn, this is where problem solving comes in. They pair, they think and they share and they information with the peers. They develop individual thinking of the learners. They learn from each other. Then they build communication skills. They can encourage themselves, the other learners in the group. They learn to keep a conversation going by asking question, answering a question, and this is how the process goes. Learn to wait their turn to speak. They develop vocabulary and writing skills. Learners have a chance to pace themselves to finish in order in the given time frame. They allow themselves to choose the best option, and then they gain self-confidence by being an active learner in the activity. And then towards the closure of this 3-step interviews, as they understand the different questioning techniques, and teacher as an observer in the group, give them a chance to reflect on the activity, where they can tell teacher what were their fears, the new challenges they had to solve, and things that they could do better when they have another chance in the group. That is all from three-step interview. Thank you.
Thank you, three-step interview.
Thank you. Thank you, three-step interview. You have done very, very well, much appreciated. Actually, I'm looking at what we were doing. Whilst you were working there, I was an observer. That's why I'm able, when you are speaking, when you are reporting, I'm able to go to your group. I know so and so said this thing, this discussion. So I was an observer. And then Tuli today is an interviewer, and you are interviewees. You are asked questions to respond, you know, and you have had so many discussions. Thank you very much. And I appreciate exactly what you are doing. Thank you very much.
I just have to say that I'm using my creativity and imagination at this point, and I'm just imagining all the learners sitting around tables. The WhatsApp groups are buzzing with group members showing appreciation and their pride of the presentations. And I can just imagine as a teacher that I would have to be a little bit patient with my classroom to let them celebrate their achievement, because we have a responsibility to celebrate our achievement. So I do appreciate the encouragement that is happening in the groups and people encouraging each other. Let's also remember to respect those who are on the floor who are presenting, so that you don't miss out an opportunity of learning. But well done, well done. Three-step interview, tea party. I'm going to come back to the Right Around group. There is a learner who has the name Hey, who's going to present and cover for Manketsi, because Manketsi is having connection problems. Right Around, I'm coming back to you. Your time starts now. Are you there? Hello? Are you still there? Right Around group, hey, we agreed that you are going to help the group with the presentation. Right Around group.
Is Manketsi has got challenges?
Yes, Manketsi has got challenges. I've just spoken to somebody on the Right Around group. Their name just appears as Hey, as in Hey, and I've asked them to present on behalf of the group, and they did say okay. So I'm just checking in if they are there. Please make sure that you complete powerfully as a group. Who else was in the group? I see there was Hey. There was Manketsi, there was Hey. It also doesn't look like the group was very active.
Okay. Can I come in, Tuli?
Yes, please,
If you go back to my report, because this is group work and it's very important.
Yes.
In that group, we had 7 members, you know, and in my report, it says there's only one person who was participating, you know.
Yes.
So the one person who was participating, Manketsi, is the only person that has got the reports in there, you know. So if you can't get hold of him, then it means that it's going to be extra. This is normal, and I like the way it has happened, you know, because it's basically putting emphasis that as educators, we have got a responsibility of ensuring that all our learners participate. I will give you a simple example, which I always give teachers in the Eastern Cape. You know, the Eastern Cape, I would say, when I interact with teachers, yes, our schools are not doing well. The reason is we are putting more emphasis on groups without basically following up who has been working. So if in a school only one learner has passed, I always say, despite the fact that you have taught, you have basically not followed up who was doing the homework, who was submitting the classwork. Have you managed everyone in the group? So the essence of this is, in our classroom, if we are to develop all our 52 learners in a classroom, then it means we need to ensure that each and every one of them is basically an active participant. So what I'll do, I'll just, because there's only one active participant there, that's Mangenzi, I will forward Mangenzi's
input.
Yes.
Yes.
It's right around. It's
Yes.
a very good input. It's basically what I also have on the notes.
Okay. Sis Vuyo, I think it's also really fair to bring the conversation that you had brought when you were encouraging participation in the group. Remember, it will not be fair for people to get completion certificates of the course if you have not been participating and you have not been engaged. So do not be surprised if you get information from the British Council that you have not completed the course, and therefore you will not be getting your certification of completion.
Okay.
Sis Vuyo, that's it for this session. Thank you, Sis Vuyo. That's it for my part.
From your part,
yes, I hand over to you. Back to you, Sis Vuyo.
Okay, back to me. Slideshow from current slide. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a very interactive. You can see now, at certain point, as facilitators or as educators preparing for learners for the 21st century, at some point you have to give responsibility to them. Today you were the one that are running the class. Teaching and learning has taken place in this session. And these are the 6 effective communicative practices that should take place in any classroom. As we were discussing with Tuli, I was saying, you know, it's easier for us to take you through the 6 effective communicative practices because it's basically what we have done, because it's associated with positive outcomes. I was excited in the whole of this week. Sharon can bear with me. She posted something and say apologies. I said, Sharon, never mind them. Don't stress. They are so busy. That's a positive outcome that people have done their asynchronous work. What we did was basically, me and Tuli, we demonstrated. We did demonstration. This is how you should do it. We didn't tell you how to do it. We did it. We walk the talk. You know, we explained what is expected from you, and we're drawing from pedagogical content knowledge, which is very, very sound. Any pedagogy, any classroom would require the strategies that we've dealt with in the past 7 weeks. We demonstrated how a class should look like. And when we're doing that, we work with you in the whole class like we did now. We work with you in small groups, and we did pair work. Exactly what we're saying, go back to your classroom and do, is one of the communicative practices. However, I must warn you that this requires proper planning. Know the content that you're going to be covering, know the strategy, know the activities that you're going to be doing. And then the other thing is the use of learning material. Go beyond the textbook. You did not even go beyond the textbook here, you have seen the power of researching. You have done these things in college, you have done these things in your in your teacher training. You know, you have noted that it is important that give your learners old newspapers to read, you know. So don't get stuck in the textbook, you know. Don't get stuck in the textbook. Just use the textbook as a vehicle. Then you need to basically research and check other sources of information. Another thing which we have, when we were thinking about this session, we said, let's look at the different types of questions. This was last week activity where you were looking at open and closed question. And you have seen this week that we gave you a number of open questions and we were expanding on the responses. We're encouraging your question in the groups. People will be saying, no, don't say this, say this. You know, you were encouraging student questioning. You were using local languages and code switching in your classroom. You understand that the medium of instruction is basically da 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 da. It might be English, it might be whatever, the medium of instruction. But time and again, you are allowed to code switch. Like I could see in your groups that there was a lot of code switching, which is basically good because it was balanced. You know, you try to balance the language of instruction and the language. I always say, if you don't know your own language, then I have got problems if you are a learned person, because you can't be a citizen without understanding your own language. But it's a debate on its own for the current plus. And then the last one is planning. You need to plan. I have said that, and you need to vary your lesson sequences. The 7 weeks, the way we approach the different topics has been different from one session to another, because we did not want to bore you with lectures. We wanted to engage you. Hence, we're varying the way we're doing things. And remember, planning. When we started, we said one of the approaches in the British Council is action planning. So without proper planning, we would not have managed to do the workshops in the work that we have done. So those are the 6 practices that as an educator you need to do in your classroom. Demonstrate to your learners, demonstrate in your community of practice how A, B, and C is done. Work with the different collaborative learning strategies, whether in whole groups, in groups, and in pair work. Use as much material as possible. So as an educator, you have to research, mind your question, open and close question, and take into consideration the Bloom's taxonomy, which we did last week, and use local language and code switch time and again so that learners begin to appreciate who they are and you assist them in simplifying their understanding. And then you plan and plan and plan. And the last question that I have for you now is, what is one thing you have learned about communication and collaboration that you did not know before? You can respond in the chat or in the WhatsApp, or you can raise your hand. What is one thing that you have learned about communication and collaboration that you did not know before? Three minutes, Julie.
Sis Vuyo, we have Ben Odoro. His hand is raised.
Okay, yes, Ben.
With collaboration, I've learned to share the best practice with the colleagues here at home and the colleagues overseas. And I've learned the other education systems in other countries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben. Sharing of best practices, because that's what you were doing in your groups, and you've collaborated more with colleagues in and out of your country. You are a 21st century citizen, a 21st century educator, meaning that you are ready to be a global citizen too.
Sisvuyo,
Yes, my dear.
I have Galant
Yes,
on the chat. I
yes,
have learned that the best is coming to the fore in different ways.
yes.
Um, there is Ganifa. I have learned that without communication, collaboration cannot take place.
Mhm.
I have learned how important my voice is in a collaborative group and how important listening skills are. I have learned that we can communicate globally in collaboration. And then the final one I have on the WhatsApp chat is from Grace. It is my first time to learn about some of the teaching strategies like Tea Party, which I enjoyed very much.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Then
And
let's.
then we've got something coming up on that. I'll just take one from the Teams chat.
Yes.
We have, for people to collaborate, they need communication, which means communication and collaboration work very well together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Thank,
it for you.
thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've learned a lot. Also, I have seen classes changing. I have seen the implementation of appreciative inquiry. I have seen the importance of monitoring your groups. And I have noted that with communication and collaboration, people will grow, people will develop professionally. Okay, thank you very much. When we started, we looked at the outcomes, and I just want to check if we have achieved those outcomes. One of the things that we wanted to do was to raise awareness and deepen your understanding on core skills and competencies that are important for your student, to introduce the strategies on how to improve core skills in your classroom, and to implement the teaching of core skills through planning of highly effective approaches. And number 4, to provide a range of tools that will support the students' learning, particularly in developing core skills. And lastly, basically, to introduce some appropriate tools to monitor and assess how well these skills are being taught and supported in our classroom. These are the outcomes for introduction to core skills. I want you to basically, if we have achieved those, you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if you want to write something, you can write something. Thumbs up and thumbs down, and any comment that you have.
Okay. I'll give 2 minutes for this exercise so that people can apply their minds to this view.
Yes.
Thank you. Sis Vuyo, I see Ben Adoro's hand is up. I'm not sure, Ben, if it's a historic hand or you want to say something. Ben? Ben, I see your hand is up.
No, it's a mistake.
Oh, okay. Okay, you can lower it, Ndade. It's good to see you. So 1 more minute. Okay, Sis Vuyo.
Okay.
I see there's a thumbs up. So thumbs up, and we even have 2 thumbs ups. So I think if we were voting, the thumbs up will be a majority. They're still coming in fast and furious.
Okay.
While we wait, you know, the one thing that I'm curious about is, as facilitators, we always want to demonstrate what we are presenting. I'm really curious what the participants, if there's one takeaway they would take with them about the way that you present and the way that you present, and they are going to go and apply into their own classroom. They can also put this in the chat. It's just, I'm curious, what is the one takeaway, one method that you've noticed that is being used for teaching throughout this 7 weeks that you are going to take into your classroom to apply on Monday? Think about this. You know, you may not be able to answer me now, but think about it. Just one takeaway, one method that you're going to take into your classroom and apply. Thank you, Sis Vuyo. The thumbs up are still coming. So it means that they looked at our objectives that we had set in the beginning, and they feel that we have met all of those objectives.
Okay. I think now, Tuli, we have come to the end of the business of the day. Then there are forms, ladies and gentlemen, that we want you to complete. Kat, do you want to say something?
And Sharon, maybe, if Sharon is on the call.
Yes, Sis Vuyo and Sis Tuli. I think from the British Council side, we would really like to say thank you to the both facilitators, Sis Tuli and Sis Vuyo, and also the organizer, Sharon, I think has also played a key role in making sure that this workshop takes place. And also to all the participants, you know, I think I know that it's not easy to wake up early on a Saturday and to attend an online sessions, but we really appreciate your effort and you know, your attendance, and we hope that this training has met your you know, your objectives. And also Sis Vuyo has also mentioned the key issue of one of our monitoring and evaluation tool, which is the end line survey. So we kindly ask that everyone who is on the call to complete that end line survey. So this is very important for us to, you know, to keep continuing with the program and to ensure that we keep, you know, sourcing out funds from different donors so that we can continue with the great work. So we'd really appreciate if everyone can complete that survey, Previously, we've had issues, especially after the workshops, where we find it difficult, to get hold of the participants who had went through the workshops to complete the end line. So I think the best opportunity to complete this survey, it's either today, the latest tomorrow, so that we know that we can also check on our system how many responses we got. So I think from my side, that's all. There's also one of my colleague, Faris. He's also on the call. I'm not quite sure if he also likes to say something. Faris.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I think from my side, it's just a thank you to everybody for going on this journey with us and completing the course. So I think I'll hand over to Sharon to say something.
Thanks, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, sure.
Yeah. Well, every Saturday I say the same and I'm blown away, but I truly, truly am so emotional, really, about the quality of the facilitation has just been 100%, as I knew it would be, but we did it first time round. Last year it was very different because we were in lockdown. Now there's much more vibrancy about it because everybody's in school, and I know you're finishing for the holiday soon, so we'll pick this up as a group with my help when you go back next quarter, and we'll use that WhatsApp group to check in and share evidence and feedback to you guys in the British Council, so you know what's happening, and you can see some videos, you can see some pictures and reflections, because what you've engaged in is just incredible, and I can feel the need now to go and do it. And obviously that's not going to happen in the 2 days that you've got left next week. But come August, we're going to see some fantastic classwork. And, from my perspective, I've worked for the British Council on projects for a long, long time. I'm a teacher. I promote learner-centred practice. What you've been given is the nuts and bolts of absolute success. It works, and your learners will thank you, because they just are joyful to teach, and even the slowest learners will gain. They will improve their oracy, they will improve their ability to think, whatever capacity they have. And so I urge you to follow this up, and thank you again. From the beginning, many of you were, what have we signed up for? What are we doing? What is this Saturday morning thing? But you've shown up, you've shown commitment, you've done all the assignments. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you to everybody, and well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see, Kat, you have your hand up. Katlego, you want to say something?
Yes, Stula, actually forgot about the 2 points. So the first point is regarding the workshop register, especially for Lesotho participants. I'm not quite sure how we are going to do it, but I'll try and communicate with Sharon so that I can send her the spreadsheet that I have, so that if maybe there is a name spelling error, we know as soon as possible, so that we don't print the wrong names for participants. We don't want to have participants receiving the wrong, the certificate with the wrong names. And then the second one, it's for South African participants. If you know that you are from South Africa and you haven't received a SAYS registration form from me, you need to make contact with me either through WhatsApp or via the email, because this training, it's I think it's 10 points, if I'm not mistaken. It should be 10 points for SAYS. So if you haven't received any SAYS document from me, please liaise with me, so that we can compile your information and send it to SAYS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. I again want to remind you that the end of course survey, remember when we started, you completed a baseline. So this is just another it's another tool that is used to make sure that you have completed. Please, Sis Vuyo and myself have put this on the main WhatsApp group. I would suggest that immediately you get off the call, please just complete it so that you know it's over and done with and you can continue with your weekend. I do want to read, Sis Vuyo, some of the comments that are coming in the Teams chat. We have a comment that says, wow, the sessions have been a refresher workshop. Thank you, facilitators. I am taking away cooperative pair learning with me, and I will also use other methods that I have learned from this program. You are presenting with confidence, which is a sign that you do a lot of planning ahead. So I would like to do the same in my class. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I would also like to just extend my appreciation to the team. Remember Belbin's teams that we were talking about. I would love to send my appreciation to Sis Vuyo, my team member. I know we have very different learning and teaching styles and we work beautifully together. Kat and Fariz, Tabisa at the background, we could not have done this without you guys. Sharon, I want to say halala to you. Halala, Sharon. Without your support, your communication, and your collaboration with us, a lot of critical thinking and problem solving throughout the 7 weeks has come from you. We appreciate you and we look forward to continued working together. We are appreciating the relationships that have been now created by with the learners, Basotos and South Africans. Now I hope we have long life friendships. I am also very excited to keep hearing what will be happening with our international learning groups. Please keep sharing with us. Sis Vuyo and myself would want to know how you're sharing in the groups. I loved the picture that we shared about the project that the students were doing, an immediate, again, thing that we have to remind ourselves that we are global citizens as Basotos, and we have so much to share with the world, as it was demonstrated by that picture. Thank you. Halala to everybody. I think this will be the last that you hear from me. I see Sharon, you want to say something?
No, I just want to say thank you for your kind words. It's a, this is a really important part of my job, and I couldn't do this and have this speech virtually without you guys. Obviously what we used to do is face-to-face work, and actually now lockdown has created this amazing platform and space for collaboration and more interaction than I've ever had as a project manager without being in situ. So this is incredible, and we look forward to the leadership courses which will be coming next. We've had huge response from people, so that will definitely happen in the next course.
Thank you. Can we all give ourselves a pat on the back for being lifelong learners?
Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're going to do now again, put your videos on. We would love to see your faces, Sharon and
Okay, I'll take a quick screenshot. We don't always get everybody on it, I'm afraid, guys. But make sure to see your mouths as well. So a nice big smile. Okay, I have one. Well done. Okay, I've got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. We are each other soon. Please stay safe.
Well, ai có đúng ý nghĩa là chủ.
Okay, guys, I've got the photos. It's time to leave. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your last few days of school and have a restful holiday that you deserve. And
Thank you.
stay
Thank you.
safe, everybody. Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Press the leave button there then, the red button. Bye, guys.
Ah,